Aigle. Frappe. Tout le monde les bras en l'air. Allez, Pépa, 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 Pépa. African James Bond, Didier Drogba, Drogbatitude, salut. Presnel Kimpembe, Eladji Diouf, Rigobert Song, coach.
To our beautiful and amazing royals of Africa, Mbolwani, my dear people, this is your queen, Queen Ngningone II, 17th generation crown queen of the Fang people and of the Diasporan Africans, also known as the Immortals. My dear people, welcome back to Nubia, the path to return, the home of the African royals. Now, if you are watching me for the first time, hello, my name is Queen Ngningone II. I'm your host, and welcome to Nubia, the path to return. If you like my vibe, stick around. I promise you, you will learn something. Now, to my returning and amazing royals of Africa, welcome back. My dear children, first of all, I would like to thank you for all your likes, share, those of you sharing the message, those of you sharing the videos. I know we are being shadow banned. There's a group of people who are reporting my video for whatever reason. But, you know, we also have, I realized that I have a royal squad out there who get on the attack mode against all those daring to offend their queen. So, my dear royal, Basse, Itinus, I see you. All right, my people. So, what are we talking about today? Today, I don't have the energy to kind of make a long video because I really believe that as far as our children in America are concerned, I have put out there what they need to know because, you know, very early on in my activism, I realized that not all of our people want to be set free. And once you have that understanding, you have to respect that, okay? It's just like back in the days all over again. Some of us wanted to run away and be free. Others wanted to sit by their masters and be good slaves. So that's the state of the affairs as far as where we are, okay? I receive a bunch of messages, you know, from, you know, some of you who send a message and the video of this guy I exposed last time. I won't make this video about him. He's really not worth it. So basically, you know, they reported to me that he made a whole 3 hours video. He made a private video during which he basically was calling violence over my head. Basically, you know, like basically calling people to find my address, to find, you know, where I live, where my kids go to school and all that kind of stuff. And again, this is what they do. Okay, these males, they're not men because they're males. You have to understand, once you expose them, you have to expect that kind of, you know, little clap back. So according to what was reported to me, you know, it's very comical. I'm like, it's almost, I'm like, you can't believe that people could be that dumb and that hateful. Just a few things, and I use what stupid people say as a teaching moment. He mentioned the stuff that, oh, what is the stuff? That my stuff is a trunk or whatever, trunk head or whatever. If he was a king, if he was a crown king, he will know what a staff is. He also would know that behind the staff, there's a whole thing going on. The staff is spiritual. He will know why we carry a cobra with the African kings. Just like Moses lay his on the ground, we have ours, us the African kings. Those of you who wonder, a staff, there's a spirit behind the staff. A staff is the covenant, is the symbol of leadership. Whomever bears the staff is the leader of that group. That's what a staff means. Okay, and for us, the Congo, he wondered about the leopard. How can you be a crown king and you don't know what the leopard, symbolizes for us? Huh? Who crowned you? The leopard, these are our pets. The leopard, the lion, and the black panthers. If those of you who are of royal bloodlines, you will see these big cats come around you. Yeah, they're the protectors of the royals and the priesthood. Yes. So if you're son or daughter of a late priest, you will see the Black Panther. If you wonder why our children came here and formed the Black Panther movement, because in our spirituality, that's the priesthood, the protectors of the people. These were our royals, not the clowns you see jumping around, so unstable, threatening people, collaborating with the enemy, being financed, sponsored by the enemy, all that nonsense. Okay, so those of you who wonder if you have family members who are just drawn by that leopard print, is because of who they are. When we are born, us royal children, they wrap us, okay, in a leopard skin. All right, so when you don't know about something, zip it, okay? You wish you had one. That's all I can say. So enough with that clown. Okay, now to my beautiful and amazing royals of Africa, as you could see, in America, it's just like the prophecy of Willie Lynch. Willie Lynch said, if you mind fuck them big time, you as the master won't need to lift up your fingers. For us continental African, we want to come and of course get involved, but we are met with that hatred that was taught to our ancestors, and of which many, I say many, are passing down to their children. So the black community, and you see I'm very careful and not using just African American loosely. African Americans, they know their ancestors came from Africa. They don't have a problem with it. They know who they are. They know who they came from. Now, whether they believe that their own people sold them or not, that's another whole. But we have a group of people who clearly feel ashamed to be African. So they cling to identifications such as black, and they want to claim it, they want to define it, they want to wage war to anybody else who doesn't belong to their community, and so on. So as you could see, the mental health of our people in America is in critical stage. So how do you know that the collective, is ill? Is the thing they allow on their public places. Social media is a public place. So like, for example, when I go and navigate through the African TikTok, Africa YouTube, certain behaviors, the elders in this community, they shut it down. They be the one shutting it down. They be the one reporting the videos that they incite to violence against women, against children in their community and stuff like that. They have true gatekeepers, but in our community, in our African American here in America, they gatekeep nonsense, they gatekeep bullshit. So you have to understand that as the world view you, they're gonna have to believe that all of us here are the way of these savages, people who would just engage into beef with people for no reason. This kind of behavior being on people's throat, competition. We even have other nationalities coming forward telling us, like, come on, black people, get it together. It's because the collective in America allows it. They found it entertaining to see people on each other's throat. These are the platform that gets the highest view. So it shows how the collective of that community is sick. In America, our people have developed a culture where they can beat each other to death in front of everybody, and it's a culture. We watch it as a show, just like the former master did to us in the past. Shanquilla Robinson, rest in peace, my dear princess. They beat her to death in a hotel room with a bunch of them around. That's the culture they like. They don't say anything, but the minute somebody says something, oh, they jump, oh, you shouldn't have said that. They believe they can soothe their pain going around mentally abusing other people. They can soothe their pain at the expense of other people's mental health. Oh, this queen, she said this, she said that. You people don't check your fools. You people are used to lynch each other publicly. When you don't do it physically, you do it verbally. I'm not going to be a queen anybody going to lynch. Let me tell you that. Oh, I will shoot. I will put you in your place. And if you truly cross that line, you will meet who's behind my staff. Because that's the culture. It's okay. They want to view, they want to see people insulting. It lets you know that the collective of black people in America is highly sick. Some people went on Manzambi page and say, oh, this queen and this and that. Or she said, oh, those who got captured and blah, blah. It's funny how our people in America, they are so damaged, but at the same time, so in denial. It makes it very hard to even try to help them or, you know, try to work with them because they're in complete denial that something is wrong with them. The behaviors they have, people pay money to get in a chat room to hear how they're going to send people around my neighborhood, or how they're going to send people kidnap my kids, or how they're going to send all that evil they draft. And among them are women. Too often we see women in the black community participating in the ignorance, participating in the violence. But what they don't know is they're going to be the first casualty of the violence they teach. They're going to be the first casualty of the separation they teach. Because as far as us African we're concerned, we stay on move. We know who we are. We know where we're heading to. Those who are healthy, it's a grim minority. But what I encourage those of our people who are healthy to check the crazies. Check them. Check them. Say no, such content is not okay, is not allowed. It is not okay, it is not allowed. You can't entertain a culture that allows public lynching, whether physical lynching or verbal lynching. You entertain, it is your entertainment, you grab your popcorn. But the minute somebody defends themselves, oh, they say something offensive, oh, like I have to live with the fact that my ancestors gave it all for a bunch of idiots who are fighting me and even accusing me, you know, of being part of those who sold them. When my ancestor chose them, my ancestor chose the people. My mothers were made widows. We were made orphan. Instead of running for their life, they fought for the people. And the same people come and aggress us and weaponize it and throw, oh, those who sold us. My ancestor never sold any of you. And any of you who come to me with that hatred, I call their blood to hunt you, to destroy you. And any seed you have taught that hatred, wipe clean. That's what we the royal do. We speak destruction on dangerous individual in our community. When we know you're going to harm many people, we curse you. We put you under spiritual arrest. Huh? So your brothers and sisters around you can be at peace. That's what we do. As far as the bloodshed of my ancestors, their bloodshed, any of you coming against me, let that blood rise and fight you and disorganize your life. So you're going to leave me alone. There's a prophecy out there for those who don't know. The prophecy about our people before the fall of our people, it was, you know, it was said that that which is lost will be found. Yes, we're finding our people. Many of them are getting their DNA proof pinpointing the people they came from. That which was stolen will be returned. You know, some of these invaders are now returning the art. supposedly, for those who believe that our forefathers, sold their people, the arts, our forefathers, sold them. In the case of the Congo and Benin and Kenya, they returned the remains that our forefathers told them to come and collect after they committed suicide. Okay? Some people ask me, my queen, you didn't mention how the prophecy ends. The prophecy says that the enemy will return with some of the captured and enslaved Africans, that they would have completely brainwashed. The enemy will return with some of our own blood to fight us. So it's not, it's not surprising that we are just led to bump into their little thing. It's just like, this is confirmation what we told you. And the prophecy also say that they will be decimated. Because if that thing is going to be their old traditional warfare thingy, I heard they even have training camp where they train, physical combat and all that good stuff. They go to places where they teach them how to martial art for combat and all these things. I don't know who they want to go fight in Africa. But all I can tell to these losers, to these slaves, because only a slave would do that, just like in Sudan. America is trying their chance, because they saw how Sudanese, when the people of Sudan defeated the Arabs, they kidnapped a bunch of little girls, took them into the desert, raped them, made a bunch of babies, brainwashed them, and used them to go and attack their own people, to the point that they divided the country. And after the mixed breed, these product of forced conceptions, after they've done the job, their parents, their fathers, Arabs, are the one running North Sudan. So it's not surprising that they're going to bring many of those, the raped children, the forced conception ones, the brainwash. But the prophecy said they will be decimated, because they will meet with our king. I see a bunch of them going around, the Judah. Are you the one who's going to raise the army of dead ancestors? Are you the one with that power? We have our king. So come and get a taste of what is ahead of you. If you think that Africa has remained the way it is because we've been dumb, that we've been, just pushovers, people pushing us around. We stood fast. We've been fighting. They would have taken over Africa like they took over the entire continent of America. So yes, it's easier, to fight our own. Blood gives us that access. Come and get a taste of what you want. Come and get what you think we owe you. Okay? Enough with these fools. It's like every 3 months, these toxic males, they come one after another. Issachar, and then they want another one who made a video of 3 hours that Africans sold them after I made a video about exposing dangerous predator. And then Omar Johnson, that one is the most dangerous, because he dangled in the face of Africans. He claims he loves Africans. He claims he's such a Pan-Africanist. But until an African get a role, until an African beat an African American to a job, or we no longer one, we become coons. And even him, I share his video. These are the most dangerous. They come in the midst, but they hate you. They can't wait for an opportunity to strike. But these people, I don't know what they think. They think that because African, contrary to many of our people, they took from us and went and enslaved. African, we still have our innocence. We were able to preserve our innocence. It doesn't make us fools. It doesn't make us idiots. It doesn't make us people you think you can just come and insult and talk to anyhow. Currently on the continent, we're teaching our children how to beat bullies. That's why you see a lot of African kids, they don't put up with you guys bullying us anymore. It's over. Okay, that time, just like we're pushing your masters. I see you guys sharing video. Africans said it, just like we're toughening up on the masters, we the children are toughening up on their slaves. Either we're going to stand as one, or you're going to be an enemy and you're going to be handled as such. Okay? So instead of asking question, where is the leopard? Now you will know when it jump on your windshield while you're driving. You will know who he is. All right. So to my beautiful and amazing royals of Africa is, as you could see, the community, you know, the family in African American community is really scattered. Our families in America really need support. We really want to urge on elders, you know, to take over, because YouTube is raising your children. You could tell how many toxic people, they have such a large following, and then you want to wonder, is that the collective type of energy level, or that it's just, I don't know, what is it? It gives you an indication that people are, you know, thirsty of real leadership, of sound leadership. You know, all you see is these individual groups. These individual groups in America, they're so divided, it's so disgusting. Wherever you're going to have one talk about reparation, another one of them going to come and say, no, they don't deserve reparation. This is how they have them so divided. It's like, it's almost impossible to get to work with many of them. It's a lot of work. I think what happened was, after Black Lives Matter, it was like a shock wave. It caught the world by a shock wave. Everybody was like, around the world, black lives, black lives. The bosses, they got scared. They're like, we can't allow black people to stand behind one cause. And before you know it, information about African American being the Native American started being leaked online. So at this point, you have them so scattered. Some of them claim they Hebrew, they Judah, not just Hebrew, Judah. Their master told them that all the tribes that they were rounded up, all of them were Judah, and that the rest of the continent attacked them and sold them into slavery. Now the master has even written how his fantasy story gonna end. We were accused of selling our own people. So in the 15th century, 16th century, I don't know what communication line our ancestors, like that Papa told us, like, let it, all of them, like, you know, because when it's a market, you have a stand, you bring your product and you contact your potential buyers. I don't know which email, fax, or whatever we use to call the European, come and buy our children. But I have realized that our people, many of them in America, they have become so dangerous that they weaponize everything. They weaponize their masters. They weaponize the suffering of our ancestors, our beloved ancestors, who could have given the world to return back to the land of their ancestors. They weaponize their suffering. It's not even about reconnecting to one's culture anymore. They're only talking about it. Many of it are only talking about it to see what they can get out of it. Many of them don't care to recover a culture. Many of them don't care to heal from losing their spirituality, their culture, their names, their everything. No. They just keep on bringing it up to see what they can get, because it's time to monetize it. So it makes it very painful to see that in reality, many of our people don't want to be set free. Many of our people don't want to heal. Many of our people just want to cash in on whatever we found that the world has done wrong to us. And this is where it gives me chills, okay? So you have to understand, those of you who are serious about our awakening, those of you who are serious about our healing, you must know that as people of God, we cannot harbor hatred toward anybody. Okay? Our divine guidance comes from having a pure, a suitable vessel to host the light of God. If you don't have a pure, a suitable vessel to host the light of Nzambe, you're going to host anything else. But Nzambe, of course, you can drop Bible verses, but your countenance alone stinks. All you talk about is separating people, separating the man from the woman, separating the child from the parent, separating, you know, separating people, separating brothers, separating family members, instead of pushing for healing, okay? So as God people, we cannot entertain this nonsense, always separating people. You have to have a pure vessel. Now, they think that because you're pure, you still have some innocence. They think you're gullible. They think they're going to come and push you around. No, we are as deadly as they get, and our battles is not in the street. That's what they need to know. So you have to be pure, you have to be loving, you have to be sincere. In order for the enemy to respect us, we have to be respectable. A group of people, all they do is compete. They want to compete. They want to be on each other's throat. They want to publicly lynch each other. Nobody going to respect you. Each time we are about to set free, other ones of us said, no, we can't achieve freedom unless Master is part of it. Master going to put us in power in Liberia. Let's not forget what a group of African Americans did on the continent before. Let's not forget that a group of African Americans went to Liberia and enslaved our people on the continent, took away the right for them to vote. When you see that little hatred they display on the internet is real, is very real. I don't take it lightly when they come, oh, we don't like African, we don't like you either. Okay? The feeling is mutual because they're capable of so much. So you can't be hateful. You can't be a clown working against your own community. I mean, our people sell out for nothing. As long as they are put in a better position, they will sell out. On the continent, when they were trying to have our own people rape us, our men will kill themselves before they will touch you. But our sons, what did they do in captivity? They participated. They participated. There was one in Brazil. Actually, there's a documentary about that fool to do that to his own people just because they were in captivity. The master told him he's going to be allowed to have a wife. He's going to be allowed, you know, to live in a house, you know, not in the quarter. And in exchange, his strength and muscular prowesses, he has to put it in the job of raping the slave women from age 12 and up to produce slave, robust slave. Our children participated in it. Anything the master threw at them, it was fair game. But it's funny that they want to hold everybody else to a higher moral stand. The Nkulus came and told me, those who dare open their mouth to you, tell them how they held their own people as slaves in America. I'm like, really? I called my team, is it true that some of our people held our own as slaves? Yeah. My dear royals of Africa, let me just go ahead and share a couple of characters we found. Number one spot goes to Anthony Johnson. The first American to own slave was a black man. Anthony Johnson was an Angolan held as indentured servant by a merchant in the colony of Virginia in 1620, but later freed to become a successful tobacco farmer and property owner. Notably, he was the first to hold a black African servant as a slave in mainland American colonies. Upon his death in 1670, a court ruled that he was a Negro and by consequence an alien, and the colony seized his land. That was a tough lesson, wasn't it? Now next we have the case of this one. You know, he's number 2 on that list of Hall of Shame. So this is William Ellison. So in 1862, William Ellison was one of the largest slave owners in South Carolina, as well as one of the wealthiest. He was born a slave and was given the name April after the month in which he was born. He was luckier than most and was bought by a white slave owner named William Ellison, who took the time to educate him. When he was 26 years old, he was freed by his masters and began building his expensive cotton plantation. As a free man, he had his name changed to William Ellison, that of his former owner. What makes Ellison so despicable and earns him a number 2 spot of this list is how he collected his wealth. Ellison was known to have made a large portion of his money as a slave breeder. Breeding slaves was illegal in many southern states, but Ellison secretly sold almost all females born, keeping a select few for future breeding. He kept many of the young males as they were considered useful on his plantation. Ellison was known to be a harsh master, and his slaves were almost starved and extremely poorly clothed. He kept a windowless building on his property for the specific purpose of chaining his misbehaving slaves. So I don't know, maybe they need to pay reparation. Those, at least we have evidence that they held slaves and sold their people. Until any of you prove the evidence that there was no war, but indeed trade between our kings and your masters. Until you prove, you provide that evidence that there was indeed a trade. You provide the evidence with what kind of currency they pay you, how much each one of you were worth. Let's just be quiet. Let's shut up. Okay? So our people, many of our people were trained to do the worst against each other, and they have kept it. That's why the incest is so rampant in our community. Our daughters, by the time she's 15, they have touched her. They have done everything to her. You have to understand, people would tell you trust no one is nonsense. If we are God's people, we are like God. God is very patient with us. God gives us time after time after time. Chance after chance after chance. God is patient with us. We have to be patient with each other. This is what our elders teach us. We can't cease from loving one another. We have to be like this. One finger is not enough to wash off your face. You need your 5 fingers. Those who preach division, be a loner, trust no one. All this is the programming from religion. The Muntu, the Bantus, they were in captivity. So in order for a master to reign supreme, he has to tell them not to trust no man. Because as far as we know, who are men? Us, the Muntus. The rest are human. We are the race of God. The Muntus. We came through fire. Okay? So when they tell you trust no man, it means don't trust your fellow black man, your fellow Bantu. That's what it means. So what do? We unlearn. Okay? That religion thing, we put it aside. We unlearn. Because we are tied to one another. We are like links pertaining to the same chain. You would need to be a blessing to your brother in order for your blessing to even be released onto you. This is our spiritual composition. This is our spiritual makeup. We excel, we succeed, we prosper when we are a blessing to our brothers, our sisters, our sons. That's why we African, no matter how little we have, we send something home. Okay? So for those of you who already follow me on Patreon, click the link on the description box below. So we are going to talk about sex, okay, the dangers of sex, the do's, the don'ts, everything about two man and woman need to know about sex. Yes, baby, let's talk about sex. We are going to talk about the dangers of sex. I'm going to explain why they use sex as a weapon of war, why they use sexual immorality to destroy an entire community. So now when it comes to our haters, we block them. All right? This is what we're teaching to our children currently on the continent. We block the haters. How do we block them? We block them from our energy. We block them from our, businesses. We block them from our endeavor. Whatever we gather, we don't want them. They're haters. They bring that seed of hatred, highly suspicious of everybody. There's a belief out there that Africans, all they do is scam. Oh, Africans are scammers. Africans are this. Africans are that. I don't know. But it's time our people stop teaching that ignorance to their children. Because this age of Aquarius, guess what? I have the peace. Because I know the prophecy said all those destroyed will be obliterated from the earth because of the poor quality of their heart. So life won't even be sustainable in that lower vibration, highly suspicious. Oh, they have somebody, they want to give even, they want vengeance, they want to be a part, they tell you don't trust no one. I said trust. Okay, when you are in the frequency of trust, when you are in the frequency of love, when you are in the frequency of forgiveness, you're going to attract like-minded people. Okay, if you're in the frequency that you don't trust anybody, people are going to find you suspicious too, because you receive what you give out. So the minute you pop out at the end of the street, people are going to like, oh, danger, because that's what you give out. So that's what you're going to attract. Don't believe these gurus who tell you trust no one. No, you have to trust in the divine. And we are gods on earth. We are a human expression of God. So God can talk to us through our fellow man, our fellow sister. So you understand, don't believe those. You have to purge. You have to understand the past, what happened to us and why it happened to us. Why it happened to us is because we were divided. So in order for us to survive, to make it through whatever we're going through, whatever challenge we have in front of us, is through unity. Those who don't understand unity, you have to leave them aside, set them aside. But one message I want all of the bully out there to know is that Africans and Africa will no longer tolerate the abuse, the disrespect of the Western powers and their slaves. They're all going to be dealt with. We draw the line. You don't like us, that's fine. Don't come around us, because those who are enemies of this country can never be granted visa to come. When you're a declared enemy of Africans and Africa, I think it'd be wise that you stay away from Africa, because the way we handle justice there is not what you used to. And it may come as a shock wave to people. There's things that you need to know even before we go home. You don't trample on somebody's honor and live to tell. You have to learn a lot of things about Africans before you go and think the captured one, you are going to go and teach them the ways of their ancestors. That's highly pretentious. So now to my royals, they're the one I'm here for. The descendant of our kings, the descendant of our priests, the descendants of our builders, these people who left crying, fighting, and can't wait for an opportunity to be reunited with their families back at home. You are the one I get on YouTube. You are the one. You are the reason why I get on YouTube. You are the reason why I get on the screen and put up with savages I don't even know, taking jabs at me, insulting me. To our amazing and beautiful royals of Africa, no, do not believe that you are a devil. You are a masterpiece on earth. You are created to Tata Nzambe's image. What happened to you because of your wealth. And now that you are healing, you are learning, you have identified your downfall, you are going to do better. You are going to grow taller than you ever were. You are going to grow stronger than you ever were. And the world will see you shine. You, son of my fathers, daughters of my fathers, you will rise. You will rise and shine again. Forget those who are too quick to label you, to count you out. Nzambe hasn't counted you out. Just detoxify, purify your heart. That's all. There's a lot of power that comes with us, but you have to be equipped, spiritually equipped to host such power of light, such power of purity, the power of the beginning of all things. It's in you. So wake up, detoxify, block the jealous and haters. Like Fali Ipupa say, bloquer. Okay, my people. Until next time, peace, love, and unity. Take care of yourself and each other. Mwah.
Presnel Kimpembe, Eladji Diouf, Rigobert Song, coach.
Allons-y, on n'a peur de rien, on est confiant. Et moi j'ai un mental d'acier comme un warrior.
Frère,
ils sont là-bas, on est trop high. Bagomeka, ils arriveront pas. Côté royaume te bloque, tous les jaloux te bloquent, tous les haineux te bloquent, tous les réseaux te bloquent, ton numéro te bloque. On n'aime pas les hypocrites, on n'aime pas le double discours, on n'aime pas Bandoka gentil, on n'aime pas de partout partout.
y'a la baille.
Bloqué, bloqué, bloqué. Atabasengi kopia mutude, non. Bloqué, 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 bloqué. Chérie non, kopia mutude, bloqué, bloqué. Kitana c'est après au bolokango, bloqué, bloqué, angango, bloqué, bloqué, bloqué. Mana bana kopia mutude, non. Tika, asimba, bloqué, 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 bloqué. Femme d'affaires, copia moutouté, Zani, Kirbodi.
Président Samuel Eto'o fils, Paul Pogba, le sniper togolais Emmanuel Adebayor, Yerim Bakayoko.
L'autre là, copia moutouté, 20 000 cas, copia moutouté, bloqué, bloqué.
Azmak,
non, non, Kanga, pardon, Nabi copia moutouté,
Alexandre Song, Ala Madrid, Kabenueve, Karim Benzema, Serge Ibaka, Blaise Matuidi, Marcel Tisserand, Kalilou Fadiga, les demi-dieux, Ahmed Bakayoko, rest in peace, Yaya Touré, Yayous Orgorgo, Bismack Biombo, Chemwe Bakayoko. Alors les DJ, ça c'est pour vous. Jouez.